So I got back from watching Scream 6, and honestly, all my predictions, if you saw them, they're wrong.
Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children.
And you know what? I'm okay with that because with this review, I will go ahead and explain why I'm okay with the fact that my predictions or my fan theories were incorrect. First off, though, I do want to bring to the point that everyone from the previous film that survived is back at it. Of course, you do have Melissa Barrera, who is Sam, Jenna Ortega, who is Tara, Jasmine Savoy Brown as Mindy, Mason Gooding as Chad, and then of course Hayden Panettiere, who you'll know from the fourth Scream, is back as Kirby. Now, of course, you have Courtney Cox coming back as Gail Weathers, but you don't have Sidney Prescott and Naomi Campbell coming back for this one. In the real world, she didn't come back because of payment issues, which I fully support. She didn't believe that she was getting paid enough, and I mean, let's face it, this would have been her sixth film in the series. Then, of course, you have the fact that in the movie, it does say why she is not showing up. What I will say about this film is it's probably one of the best, if not the best, of the new series of the batches that they've came out with since the fourth one. Now, is it better than the fourth one? I believe it is. And honestly, it doesn't follow the tropes as the other slashers, such as, of course, Jason and being in New York City, where some people like it, some people hate it. This one is actually done very well. And then honestly, how many times are you going to go and depict Scream in Woodsboro? Now, I know it's a classic, I know it's the home front of the series itself, but being in New York City, it's a completely different setting with different things to look at, different areas where, of course, Ghostface can show up, and honestly, it just brings a new freshness to the series. Now, unlike how you have Sidney Prescott or Gail Weathers or Officer Dewey, who stayed in Woodsboro in the first three films, and the fourth film, and the fifth film, where, of course, the slasher comes back every single time, the smart people, being, of course, Sam, Tara, Mindy, and Chad, go over to New York City because they want to escape the past. They want to escape everything that happened in Woodsboro and start over. And that's admiring on its own. However, Ghostface, of course, travels and follows them over, as it does showcase in the film and the trailer, and it kind of goes in a little bit more detail, of course, in the movie. Now, what I will say is all my predictions were completely inaccurate. As much as I love to do a fan theory theorizing, and Paramount, give me a call, would love to write it, because as much as I would like to have Stu back, I'm going to break the ice here. He's not back. They do make mention of him in the film, but not so much to the point of proving that he's still alive. And in all honesty, maybe he is dead. We just don't know. When it comes to the stabbing and killings, there are a little bit more of a gorier side to them, which is understandable because coming from the early 90s or late 90s when the first one came out, of course, there's different regulations and different things that you would be able to show then versus what there is now. And in all honesty, it does paint a little bit more picture of pain now that they are showing it on the big screen. And again, freshness to the film franchise to the point where it's carrying on that slasher trope. Now, Scream is the actual first horror series, first slasher series that I saw ever growing up as a kid, so I hold this series near and dear to my heart. And with this one, I will honestly say I believe it's better than 4, it's better than 5, and I think it's the whole element of a new location, them coming to a new area, wanting to start over, and to the fact that it does drive home a point that this is a franchise and not a sequel or a trilogy or anything of that nature. It's a franchise. So no matter what you knew in the past, it's completely different. And that's the other thing too, is in the very beginning where you have that slasher mark and it cuts over to Scream, whether it be Scream 2, Scream 4, it doesn't do that. Not where you actually expect it to, and that's awesome. It doesn't follow the same tropes that you're expecting because, again, it wants to catch you off guard. It makes you not believe what you're actually thinking for an actual twist at the end. And so there you have it. I enjoyed it. I loved it. Did you guys get a chance to watch it over the weekend or now? Let me know down in the comments. Not only that, but stay tuned because I will go ahead and showcase my fan theories, which were 100% incorrect. And I hope you enjoy that. But make sure you hit the subscribe button, follow us on all social platforms, and we'll see you next time as we go over the next review.
So I had a thought. In Scream 5, they address how Sidney Prescott is not in Stab 6, the film. Now, Scream 6 comes out, and we don't have Neve Campbell. Now, don't get me wrong, she didn't join because she wasn't getting paid what she felt that she was worth, which, I applaud her. She's the star of the show. She's the star of the movie. But what if this film takes place in New York City? Yes. But we find out that Stu is actually alive, and he has created a cult following with all the killers wearing the Ghostface costumes that we see in the trailer. Now, at the end of the film, everybody dies, right? Gail Weather, she puts up a fight, she ends up dying because the villain wins. We find out that it's Stu, and at the very end, Sidney gets a call relaying this, saying that Stu is alive. Now that just gives her motivation into going after Stu. And now we have an all-out battle between Stu and Sidney Prescott as well, because now Gail is dead.